Alright, match 4 on the play against Laplace Jan. I think this guy is a hate bear player from memory. In that sweet die roll of 6 against his die roll of 5. Nothing better. Lurus? Oh, never mind. It's a shadow deck. Alright, we'll keep this. We got protection from creatures and we got life gain. All this seems really good to me. It's going to lose out on one of the things. Alright, we'll start off with our just shock in the Temple Garden. Probably the Windswept Heath is just going to get us a basic to conserve life. We don't want to like help our opponent to Scourge, right? Still shape his gift? Okay, never mind. This is a completely different deck. This is a Colossus Hammer combo deck. His deck's pretty good. Yeah, it runs Memnites and Ornithopters, Paradise Mantles, Pure Steel Paladins, Stoneforge Mystics. Honestly, our best line might be trying to win with Core Spirit Dancer here. And hoping they don't have the Path in the main deck. Normally they don't have Path in main deck. I think we need to win off Core Spirit Dancer here. I think it's far too unlikely that Scout's going to live for long enough to tell the tale. Like, to win it for us, so. They also have, like, Inkmoth Nexus and can give Inkmoth Nexus, 11/11. Pretty powerful. They run Sigarda's Aid too. I did like a deck tech video on this deck, a breakdown of it as a deck, how it functions, what it does, all that sort of stuff. So you're interested in that, go check it out on my YouTube. I call it Paladin Hammer, I think. Daybreak Coroner is a very, very good card here. We've now assembled our flying. Basically, like, all that wins it for our opponent here is a Path to Exile on the Core Spirit Dancer. They can chump block this with Ornithopter, but they might want to, like, chump block next turn instead. Alright, so we high rolled, like, really well from the core there. But yeah, here they can just play Sigarda's Aid, Colossus Hammer, going on the Inkmoth Nexus at instant speed. It looks like they're going to go in on sorcery speed. We can block this with our Gladecover Scout. Good reason to leave it back chump blocking, even if they're not attacking with everything. Alright, they're just going in on the Ornithopter. Because, like, Colossus Hammer has text which makes the creature lose flying, right? So when they put it on Inkmoth Nexus, if they put it on sorcery speed, you can chump block it. Alright, so he's got a second Colossus Hammer off of his second Steel Shaper's Gift. That's going to draw him a card when it enters from Pure Steel Paladin. He can instant speed equip it. So equipping it that way seems a bit odd. Equipping both that way. We got the Path to Exile here. We just win. If we block there, we just open ourselves up to them putting it on Inkmoth Nexus, right? It also runs like 2 copies of Cranial Plating as well. So now they're shifting it back across, making a giant jump blocker. Sure. It's all fine though because I have Path in hand. So Path. We've got flying on the board. Can't do anything about that. Then we just Daybreak. I think I'll hold the Spirit Mantle in hand. I don't want to give my opponent that extra information, right? Playing this, like, pre-Daybreak Coroner, I think it's just, like, good manners to let my opponent know I already have it and that I didn't top deck it off of the Core Spirit Dancer draw trigger. Like, realistically, it just doesn't even matter, but yeah. You see, they had the concession to the Daybreak there. Cool. Alright, so against this deck, we want to bring in our Force of Vigors. They do bring in Disenchants, so Heroic Interventions have, like, some merit. Torpor will stop Stoneforge Mystic from tutoring an aura, but I think that's just, like, a little bit too narrow, right? Also, if they search out their Shadow Spear, it makes our creatures lose Hexproof as a 1-mana activation. And then they can just path our, like, Gladecover Scout or Slippery Bogle, and that's really bad. Alright, so weak cards. I think Spirit Link is probably weak. If they're winning, they're probably winning via Infect. Spirit Dancer is also probably a little bit weak, but I think I still want 2 copies of her. And then maybe we just look to minus out some Hyena Umbras after that. So we'll go with that. Alright, so opponent's keeping a 7-card hand. They've still got Lurrus as their companion. This hand has, like, interaction, but it has no auras. The interaction's good, we're sort of okay, but also, like, Lurrus just brings stuff back from their graves, so it's kind of, like, just dumb. I think I want a more aggressive hand. Like, this hand I consider way better than that last hand. Dump a Heroic Intervention, and at least we produce a creature that has a clock, right? So wants to guard his aid. That's alright. I didn't want to play a Magic anyway. This deck's actually like a very, very sweet deck. I really like the way it's been built by whoever designed it. It's very well designed. I bought everything except for the... I had some of the pieces because I've been mucking around with a Sagada's Aid Bogles list. With the Colossus Hammer as well, and that was just like kind of janky, and I ditched it. Wasn't good. It was just a bit of fun. A bit of clickbait for the viewers. But yeah, like, most of the pieces are cheap. The Misha's Bobbles and the Sagada's Aids are like the most expensive stuff. Steel Shaper's Gift, get Colossus Hammer. Yep. Play it, equip it, attack for 11. Sure. Alright, so I'll take 11. Draw Call Spirit Dancer. Alright. So here we're going to play a Spirit Mantle, instigate, jump blocking mode, look to Daybreak Coronet next turn. Hope our opponent has literally nothing. If they have a Shadow Spear, that gives Lifelink Trample, so we can push the damage across. If they have, you know, I guess Shadow Spear again, Path to Exile, yeah, all that stuff. They can't give their creature evasiveness, but they can give it trample. They don't have any haste creatures. Overall, it's a really sweet deck. It's hard to beat. Like, I know exactly how it operates, and I think you need, like, a combination of your Force of Vigors and surgical extractions to actually beat it, because it goes very, very deep. Temple Garden, they're splashing green. Wow. Getting a second Colossus Hammer. Well, our line is Ethereal Armor, Daybreak, attack for a bunch, gain some life. Still hope our opponent has no interaction. Getting on in there. So hitting for 8, sorry. Gaining 8, going back up to 15, and as long as they can't kill our guy, we're good. If they can disenchant the Spirit Mantle, we're probably not so good. Because then they have mana for Disenchant and Colossus Hammer, and Colossus Hammer auto-equips. Opponent concedes. That's like super bizarre. I did not expect that. Yeah, like normally I would say that's the worst matchup. Maybe they're new to the deck and don't know the best hands with it, but I'll take it. With the way tonight's going, I'll definitely take it.